So we are passing through these lanes of Udaipur, the old city of Udaipur, and our Udaipur afternoon is about to give way to our Udaipur evening. And before that happens, we plan to explore another famous landmark of Udaipur, and for this one, we'll use a ropeway. This is the ropeway to the very famous Karni Mata Temple, and Karni Mata is actually a very famous goddess for the royal Rajput family. In fact, you will find that there are multiple Karni Mata temples throughout Rajasthan. Wow! So this view and this ropeway experience, it immediately takes me back to Shimla, which was where I had my previous ropeway experience. In fact, I have a video of that experience as well, so maybe I'll put it somewhere in a link on the screen. But yeah, this ropeway experience is always very picturesque, and the whole experience of gaining elevation so quickly above trees and beautiful landscape, it's always wonderful. And in this case, we'll get on top of this Aravalli hill and we'll reach the Karni Mata Temple. Now that is a very interesting perspective on something that we've already seen. The lake that you see in the distance, that's actually Lake Pichola, in which we've already done a boat ride, and we've gone to one of the islands, which is the Jagmandir Palace within the Lake Pichola. It's actually just the previous video, so you could just watch that if you want to. The small lake that you see on this side, on our side, this one's actually a lake called Doodh Talai. So it's a smaller lake, as you can see. But yeah, I think you don't really get that perspective from any other place except here, or probably the Karni Mata Temple further up. So here we are, we have just gotten off the ropeway, and as you can see, the views from here are even better. I can sort of imagine though, if it was closer to sunset, the views would have been even more beautiful, but I think these views are wonderful as well. And you can check out Lake Pichola there in the distance as well. And I think I see the island within the lake too. We do have a little more of walking to do before we reach the actual temple, which is the Karni Mata Mandir. But as you can see, this place is not just about the temple, it's also about the views. Some more beautiful views of Lake Pichola as we walk up to reach the Karni Mata Temple. And the thing is, views are actually on both sides, or all sides of this hill, I should say, because the temple is effectively at the top of the hill. So if I were to sort of turn around, I'll find view on my other side as well. In fact, right here you'll see large parts of the Udaipur city. So this is definitely not a view that you would get if you're anywhere close to the lake. You'll get it only when you're on top of one of the hills, such as this one, which is the hill for the Karni Mata Temple. So now we are almost at the zenith. This is the highest point of the hill that we've been trying to climb. I mean, technically not the highest, but it's still high enough, and you can see expansive views of the Udaipur city as well as the lake from here. I'm almost sort of trying to do a 360 here. And going back to my earlier thought, you can see even if you're not a religious person and you're not into visiting temples for praying, I think you could visit this temple and this place just for the views, because the views here are clearly unmatched. I mean, I don't think there are many places within Udaipur where you'll get such wonderful views of vast areas of the city. So basically, from what I know, there will be no videography allowed within the premises of the Karni Mata Temple. So this is what I can show you effectively in the video. And about the temple. So I already spoke about Karni Mata. So she's a goddess that is believed to be the goddess of the Rajput kings, and therefore you would find a lot of Karni Mata temples throughout Rajasthan. This particular temple, it was built roughly at the same time, or actually not. Udaipur was built in the 1500s and this temple was built around 100 years later. So it was built in around the 1600s in order to pray to the Karni Mata. And interestingly, Karni Mata is actually believed to be a person who lived in around the 1300s, 1400s, but then she sort of became famous as the reincarnation of God, and therefore she was called Karni Mata. So that's what this temple, which as you can see has beautiful views from it, is all about, the Karni Mata. So this might actually be the highest point of the hill, and I'm not sure if you notice it, but there's actually even that trolley or the ropeway there in the distance. This is our destination, the Karni Mata Temple, and there's no videography allowed inside, so I cannot show you what's inside. And one interesting bit, I'm not sure if all of you know, but whenever you're going inside a Hindu temple, you have to take off your shoes. So we've already taken off ours. What a beautiful view that is. And I think all these stones have been assembled probably also because of some religious reason. They do look very beautiful, by the way, though I don't really know what's the religious reason behind these stones. But yeah, I think our trip to the Karni Mata Temple has been really fruitful. I was not sure if I would enjoy this, but I think the views and the whole experience of riding the ropeway and looking at this bird's eye perspective of the lake, it has all been so good. Alright, so we are about to head back and head down from the Karni Mata Temple now. And I'm not sure if you're hearing this, but one of the benefits of being at this height, I think, is that you hear all the sounds from long distances, even inside the city. And I am hearing, and I have been hearing, sounds of the Indian dhol. Looks like somebody has been playing the dhol somewhere in the city, and we could hear those sounds here. And of course, the beautiful music that's playing right here as well. I guess this doesn't really qualify as a selfie, so we are good. I mean, I'm speaking from the reference of that board that we saw a little earlier in this shot. And what a beautiful shot this is. I know I'm sort of tooting my own horn. And I guess not just the horn, I'm also hearing these dhol sounds that are probably originating far away somewhere within the city that we see from here. And those sounds make it all the more wonderful as we descend and we look at the setting sun. I'm not sure if you noticed, there are also people who are walking down, so taking the ropeway is not the only option of coming to the Karni Mata Temple. You could also walk. I think there are about 1,000 stairs, but I think overall the experience of the ropeway is what is more enjoyable and also more picturesque. And I think this shot definitely reminds me of Shimla. This one reminds me of Shimla as well, except for the trees. I think I prefer looking at the trees in the hills. Anyways, I think this is it for today. I'll catch you again. Bye.